Episode 16, The Rundown. I'm Gabe Henderson. Stevie Katz on the ones and twos in the back. Cal Stackpole is always inside of me, but today it's a bonus episode, so we brought my guy in, Zach Selby.
That's right. The duo becomes the trio.
The trio.
I've been wanting to do this for a while. I'm hearing the podcast and listening to y'all. It's like, yo, that sounds a lot of fun. And here I am.
I'm glad to have you on.
Couldn't keep me away.
I'm glad to have you on, man. You do a lot of great work for us. Both these guys, are staff writers. Zach, tell us a little bit about you before we start, just to let the fans know who you are.
Well, yeah. So I started week 4. That first Giants game,
yep.
and been here for about 4 months. Went to grad school at the University of Maryland. Before that, I
Terps.
was
Come on, man.
Another Terps.
Come on, man. Come on, get out of here.
Then before that, I was in good old Tennessee, going to school at this small liberal arts college called Maryville College. With Fighting Scots. Go Scots!
Fighting Scots.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the Scottish people.
Gotcha.
The nationality.
Gotcha. Proceed.
Yeah, played football myself, actually, offensive line in college. So
another athlete.
Yeah, another one. Yeah.
I like it.
And then after that, I was a sports editor at a small weekly paper, and then now I'm here.
Nice, man. Offensive lineman, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, congrats, man. Glad to have you on. Glad to have you on.
Happy to be here. Happy to be
Finally
here.
got two guys that actually know what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
You and I, we got two guys that know football, right?
Yeah.
Nah. But, I mean, Kyle, you were at the Super Bowl this week, man, and that was, of course, we all know Redskins.com. We saw you and Larry Michaels' interviews with the plethora of athletes, players, coaches, alumni. Describe that experience in a nutshell.
Yeah, so we were on Radio Row from Tuesday to Friday, and it was pretty unbelievable. I mean, all the different former NFL players, current players, media personalities. We were able to talk to Ron Rivera, Terry McLaurin, and then also some broadcasters like Jim Gray, and just got to talk to a bunch of different people and get their perspective on the Redskins, get their perspective on the Super Bowl. So it was a really fun week in Miami, and obviously it concluded with a pretty awesome game that I mean we're gonna talk about right here, right?
Yeah, because I've been known. My friends always tell me that I have bad luck with everything. Whenever I cheer for a team, that team ends up losing. The past few weeks, Kyle and I, we've been debating about who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
And on January 19th, my dad's birthday, I tweeted out, I don't care who the Chiefs play. It's probably going to be the 49ers, but regardless, they're going to win by 10+. Everybody thought I was crazy. This guy thought I was crazy.
Not going to lie, I doubted you too.
You doubted me?
I don't know about all that, but
31-20, they win by 11. I should have put a Chick-fil-A sandwich on it, but I know Kyle doesn't eat out much, so.
Props to you, man, because I seriously, that was the first thing I thought about last night when they won. I actually told my girlfriend, I'm like, Gabe was right. I can't believe it.
It's rare,
So,
very rare, very rare.
Props
but
to you. That was awesome.
The game last night, man, we go from Pat Mahomes 3-and-out to Pat Mahomes or Damian Williams game-winning touchdown that seals the game. I mean, it was honestly, it was probably one of the most. I'm not gonna say the most. One of the most exciting Super Bowls I've ever seen. Pat Mahomes, he dealt with adversity. We all, we said, hey, this guy has never been in this situation. We all know the Chiefs get down early, but at the same time, we never see Pat Mahomes with his back against the wall late in the game. And to orchestrate 3 touchdown-winning drives in less than 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, like, what more can you ask for against, the 49ers defense that has been number 1, number 2, top 5 all year in almost every single category. It was fun to watch that.
Well, I mean, yeah, and you I think Frank Clark said it after the game. He said, the Chiefs run the NFL now. I mean, if you look at their run, I mean, they were down 24-0 against the Texans, then 17-7 against the Titans, down 10 again. I mean, I will say in the game there were 2 very different versions of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it looked like that first, I guess maybe like 2.5, 3 quarters, he was missing guys. I mean, he wasn't really like the previous MVP that we were all expecting to see. Then all of a sudden, I mean, it's almost like whenever they go down, he snaps his finger and is like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's roll. Yeah. And, I mean, they scored 21 points in like 7 minutes.
It's crazy.
I mean, it just shows that the Chiefs are, no matter what the situation is, no matter when they're down, how they're down, they're never really out of it at all.
Right. It was fun to watch. And just being, Maryland guys, a guy like Terrell Suggs who played for the Ravens, I know that was, good for him to get another ring under his belt. But at the same time, if you're a Redskins fan, you're like, hey, like, we can do this. We can do this. If you look at the 49ers mold of a team that went through a rebuilding process, got a new coach, got a new, everything setting in place. It looks like the Redskins can take a similar approach to getting back on track. And, I mean, you look at this 49ers defense or this 49ers team, what can the Redskins learn from them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just what they did for their pass rush. So they have drafted pass rushers, defensive linemen high in the past few drafts, first rounders, and so have the Redskins. And last year the 49ers were 4-12,
okay.
And granted, Garoppolo got hurt, but they had the number 2 pick, and they drafted Nick Bosa, and from there, they just took off. So, I mean, if you're looking for how they can replicate it, the 49ers literally have the same pick that the Redskins have now, and the Redskins could use that on another pass rusher on a line that already has 4 former first-round picks. So just using that blueprint alone, we could see the Redskins pass rush really step it up next year, and who knows? I mean, the 49ers were dominant all season, so it would be interesting to see how good the Redskins could be up front.
Connect with the Redskins this offseason. Follow Redskins on Instagram and Twitter for team news updates and exclusive Redskins content.
Sign up for FanDuel now and get $5 in total bonus. Just make your first deposit to get started, and you'll get an extra $5 in site credit. Go to FanDuel.com/FFT or download the FanDuel app.
Redskins defensive lineman number 93, Jonathan Allen, hates to lose. So he's teaming up with Papa John's and you to help donate to Sasha Bruce Youth Work, helping homeless children in our region every day. Team 93 needs you to make it a winning day for your family and these special children. You'll get a large 2-topping pizza and an order of wings for just $20. And Papa John's will donate 93 cents to Sasha Bruce's Youth Work for every single order. Play to eat, play to give, but play to win, because nobody wants to lose. Before we took a break, Kyle, you were talking about Nick Bosa, the 49ers defense, but Nick Bosa, moving along, was named the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was in discussion for Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to talk accolades this segment, but he was Defensive Rookie of the Year. Kyler Murray was the Offensive Rookie of the Year. An interesting point that stood out to me was Terry McLaurin didn't receive any votes.
Disrespected.
That was a shocker, Zach.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, if you look at just some of his stats, I mean, second in receiving yards, tied for third in like touchdowns. I mean, and some of the stats, he was only down by like less than a yard away from the rookie receiving leader, A.J. Brown. I mean, it's unthinkable. Now, should he have won? That's another debate, I think. But I mean, just not even get one single vote out of all that. I mean, it just seems very perplexing to me. And who knows why that happened? But I think he definitely deserved at least some credit, whatever that was.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it was, unfortunately, the team that he played on. Obviously, the Redskins were not great. I mean, 3-13, and sometimes guys get overshadowed. So you talk about a guy like DJ Metcalf and like AJ Brown, they're playing for or DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I was gonna let you go. I was like, man, I don't know
DJ Metcalf also got 0 votes. But those guys were playing on playoff teams, and they were just in primetime more, and they were seen more, and Terry was not. So I think that while it is a slight, I mean, the statistics speak for themselves. You can go on NFL.com and look at the top rookie leaders and all these different stats, and he's top 3 in every single one of them. So it's unfortunate, but the league's going to know about Terry soon enough.
I think Terry. He's going to use that as motivation going forward to this year. We already didn't know. Nobody really knew who he was in this past year's draft, and coming out of the 3rd round to exploding on the scene. As a rookie, I think he's going to get his fair due this upcoming year. Another guy that got his fair due that we all knew was going to be MVP this year was Lamar Jackson, NFL MVP. Stephon Gilmore, Defensive Player of the Year. Ryan Tannehill was a shock to me for most improved player.
Yeah.
That was new. I know you're from Tennessee. You might know a little bit more of why that is. I know you didn't make the vote, but
no. But a lot of my friends in Tennessee, they're big Titans fans. So I mean, they were telling me, at 2-4, I mean, the look was very dreary. I mean, someone told me they texted me. It almost feels like I'm at a breakup whenever they bench Marcus Mariota for Ryan Tannehill. And I mean, I think the fans didn't really know exactly what to expect out of him. He comes from Miami. He had some success, but it was an up and down career with injuries and everything. And he comes in and leads the team 7-3 to the AFC Championship when nobody expected them to do that at all. Now, Derrick Henry had something to say about
Tannehill
that.
led the team in handoffs.
Yeah, there you go. But
Garoppolo had a lot too.
that should be a competition between Tannehill and Garoppolo.
Hey, we work for the Redskins. Say what you want. No, but I get you. I mean, you got two good running backs, 49ers and the Titans, that you could build an offense if you have a good run game. And Tannehill, it opens up the pass when you have a good running attack. And Tannehill, he made plays when he had to make plays when he got those opportunities. Yep. Jimmy Garoppolo, same thing. Whenever his number was called, he made those plays. I saw an interview with him and Steve Young. No, it was Joe Montana or Steve, one of those two guys. It was on ESPN earlier before the game, and Steve Young was like, "Hey, like you got a solid rushing attack. You're known for running the ball. Like how do you stay in rhythm? How do you keep your arm going?" And Jimmy Garoppolo said he counted before there was a game where he didn't throw the ball for an hour, so he handed the ball off so many times, and he was like, "Man, it's been an hour. Like, you sure you want to throw the ball?" But it says a lot about your team if you can establish the run game, and we saw that with the 49ers last night. But Ryan Tannehill, he did his thing when his number was called. He did what he was supposed to do.
And just go on that. It is refreshing to see in a league that's just dominated by people who are throwing like 350, 400 yards a game through the air. Two teams that are just going to know we're going to rely on our running backs to give them 25, 30 touches a game and just try and stop it.
Well, and I think the other thing is one of the things we learned this year is that everyone's going towards passing more in the RPOs, but you can win in a lot of different ways. And we saw with the 49ers what they were able to do, what the Titans were able to do with Derrick Henry, and then the Chiefs, I think they were one of the, they would pass, I think, the most percentage of the time out of anybody. So just for Redskins fans, it shows that you can win in a multitude of ways. You just have to play to your strengths, whatever those may be. So I think that's refreshing for Redskins fans to know that we don't have to fit a certain mold, and the teams in the Super Bowl showed that.
Was the Defensive Player of the Year surprising for you guys too? I'm not sure on like stats who was the last cornerback to win Defensive Player of the Year. I'm pretty sure the comments would tell us, but was that a shocker that Stephon Gilmore, 6 interceptions? I can't think of how many tackles he had. Was that a shock for you guys?
Well, I think if you look at his stats and just watch him play, no, absolutely not. If he's not the top corner in the game, he's definitely top
he's
3.
Up there.
Yeah, exactly. He's been a lockdown guy from pretty much since they signed him. I think it was a couple of years ago, and it's just he's been on a path where like he's just one of the most dominant players on their team and in the AFC and just in the league in general. You try to throw at him, you always have to wonder where he is on the field at all times.
I guess I was kind of surprised just because I didn't really. I would just assume that it would have been a defensive lineman or an edge rusher just because that's kind of what we were used to. But like Zach said, you look at the numbers and they speak for themselves, and he's been the best defensive back, in football this season. So I think it's definitely deserving, but a little surprising when I saw it. Did you know that your Washington Redskins are sponsored by Koch Industries? That's Koch Coke. Their 67,000 U.S. employees make a lot of things that make game day better. Greener turf? They make that. Stronger paper products for tailgating? They make that too. And electronic components and TVs and smart devices so you can watch a Redskins victory anywhere? Yep, they make that too. See all that they make for on and off the field at kochmakesthat.com. Looking for another chance to win? The 100K Scratcher replay from the Virginia Lottery is exactly that. Now through March 31st, any non-winning Virginia Lottery Scratcher offers a shot at winning $500 in a daily drawing or even a $10,000 grand prize. Here's the lowdown. Any non-winning Virginia Lottery Scratcher can be entered into a daily drawing. In each daily drawing, 2 players will win $500 each. Every entry into a daily drawing is automatically entered into the grand prize drawing, which is set for April 7th. On April 7th, one lucky player will win $10,000 grand prize. All entries must be entered either via valottery.com/replay or the Virginia Lottery app. The fun doesn't stop if you don't win on your scratcher. Just replay it with the 100K Scratcher replay. Visit valottery.com/replay for more information. The odds of winning a prize in the $100,000 Scratcher replay promotion depend on the number of entries received.
Well, it's officially the start of the offseason. We saw a lot of teams last night talking about, hey, the offseason starts now, 2020 starts now, new year, 2020 vision. Long story short, the new offseason started January 1st when Ron Rivera got hired. I mean, I feel like the Redskins have been making moves. They've been signing coaches. We've seen players here in and out, coaches, working late nights here, literally every single night since January 1st. Getting ready for this upcoming season. So while these other teams, they may say that they started.
We've been working.
Exactly. We've been working. All three of us have been working too. Stevie in the back also. I don't know if she's. No, I'm joking. But at the same time, like these coaches, they've been doing their thing, and I think it's safe to say all three of us are excited to see what this new coaching staff and what Ron Rivera will bring to this Redskins franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it really and this isn't a joke. Since New Year's Day, this whole past month has felt like just a blur.
Yeah.
I mean, you wake up and all of a sudden it's February. I mean,
it's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, this team has already been working. I mean, ever since Rivera got here, I mean, it's just feel like there's just been a new energy around the entire building. I mean, he's made changes from the first hour that he got here. Right. I mean, and he's got great coaches that have a lot of the coaches have matched everything that he said that he wanted out of his staff and how he wants to build this team. And when you see a coach that has that kind of direction and drive to change the fortunes of a franchise, you get excited about
Absolutely.
that. Of course you should, and not just as a fan, but just as just an outside person looking in. You see, okay, let's see what this guy and this team has going on next for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you just talk about it changed so quick. I mean, people dwelled on the 2019 season for maybe 3 days,
right?
And then they announced the hiring on New Year's Day, and from there, 2019 is okay,
over.
It's in the playoffs were going on in 2019, but for Redskins fans, it was strictly 2020. And if we're talking who has done the work and gotten ahead for 2020, the Redskins have to be number one because they've been at it for almost a month now. I mean, the Chiefs and 49ers, this is their first day of that next season. So it's exciting because you have a new coach, you have a new coaching staff. You want to look forward. You want to see what they can do. So I thought it was nice for Redskins fans and just the Redskins in general to get that restart pretty much right away.
Well, now that, we are here and, the offseason is in full effect, we get to see, these coaches, what they're doing come to light. So for you, what are you most excited for? This offseason.
I mean, just as offseason in general, I'm excited to see what the defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio does with this defense. I mean, going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. I mean, I told him the other day in the break room, I was like, I'm excited to see what you do with these defensive linemen and how you're going to move and shake all these people around because they've got a lot of talent, like the 49ers. I mean, they've drafted heavily and invested in that defensive line with John Allen, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, and potentially Chase Young if they decide to go that route. I mean, that's 4 first-round guys.
Right.
I mean, how are you going to split that talent? What are you going to do with all that? I mean, and if I think these past few years have shown that if you have a dominant pass rush, you can do things and you can be very successful and you can change your team with one draft. I mean, look at Bosa. I mean, but that's the thing that really sticks out to me the most is what is Del Rio going to do with this defense and how is he going to turn this into something that's truly great?
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about the draft a little bit. Of course, the Redskins have the number 2 pick. I mean, we've read all the mock drafts. Anything can happen between now and the draft, but before the draft is the NFL Combine. And the Combine is a way for us to see a lot of these guys put their talents on display. And I feel like Cal is going to be a testament to see how Ron Rivera and the staff look at talent and who they think best fit this organization.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was going to go to my broader point of the thing I was most looking forward to was just the roster construction.
Right.
So who we decide to keep on this roster, who do we decide to get in free agency, who do we decide to draft after going to the Combine, who decides to start. All these things are so unknown and there's so many different moving pieces. So while we know who the coaching staff is and what their philosophies are, we don't know how that's going to translate to the actual roster. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out and how free agency and the draft, how they all build upon one another so that once we get to OTAs, we know what to expect, and we can kind of just hit the ground rolling.
I know we're getting to the offseason, but we were talking about awards, and I can't let this podcast end without giving Adrian Peterson a shout-out, who won the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award last night, right? No, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
I think if you're in the building, even in the community, and you get a chance to talk to AP or just be around him, there's no other person in the NFL, in my opinion, that's more deserving than AP to win this award. I mean, he's such a great guy. And just to see what he does in the community. I mean, this guy, we all know what he does on the field. But at the same time, he's so invested in this DC community, him, his wife, his kids. And that was such a great sight to see him, winning that award.
Yeah, so. I mean, from the first time I got here, he was the person that I was like, okay, Adrian Peterson's on this team, and you see him, and you see like a future Hall of Famer, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Did you shake his hand?
I did, and I
did he break it?
I try. I'm known for having a strong handshake myself, but he put me to shame. I'm not, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, I'll put it out there. But yeah, he's just been a stand-up guy. I mean, just completely deserving of every single award that he gets. I mean, he's so nice. I mean, like he brings a different kind of energy to the room whenever he's in there, and you see someone like that, see someone who just tries so much to be a good person, and you can't help feel good about it when he gets that kind of recognition.
And Kyle, you were there. You wrote a fantastic article about it. And
thanks, man.
Yeah, man, of course. But just for you, how encouraging was it for you to see that?
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool, and it was definitely well deserved. I mean, as Zach was talking about, you have a player of that caliber, and he's just, in terms of how he speaks to the media, how he speaks to everyone in this building, he's just he's so professional. He's well respected. He respects you. He'll ask you questions just about your life, not just about the Redskins and football. So it was really good to see him get rewarded for that. And he said on the red carpet before he ended up getting the award, I asked him what would it mean to win this award, and he said it would just say that who I am as a person is going to be recognized, and I'm really a kind of a person who lives to inspire others, and that's what he's been doing throughout his career, and he was recognized for it at NFL Honors, and he couldn't be more deserving.
Nice. Well, before we get out of here, Super Bowl odds. I read an article today. The Chiefs are the favorites to win, but you guys have done I know you guys have some articles coming out about this, so give the fans a taste of what they're going to read soon. Well,
the Redskins are predicted to go last in those odds, but I don't really believe that's the case. I mean, there's a lot of good factors that really kind of that get you excited about this team. I mean, besides the number 2 draft pick that we've talked about a little bit. I mean, Haskins is going to be better. I mean, McLaurin, Steven Sims, Kelvin Harmon, Geis is going to be back, along with Bryce Love. I mean, like, there's just a lot of pieces on this whole team that make you go, well, why are they last? It doesn't make any sense. They're like, the pieces are there. Now, am I going to say that they're going to win the Super Bowl next year? No, I mean, no one should ever say that their team is going to go out and do that. But I mean, especially at this point, and after the Chiefs, you can go ahead and brag a little bit that maybe next year.
I know a couple of teams out there that says this year is our year, but
yeah, well, even then, those teams can be proven wrong about like in the first 6 weeks of the season.
Very true.
The point is that you don't especially with like what these Redskins have like coming up. Like, why they're I don't see a team that has last odds to get there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I saw it a couple days ago that they were last, and I was shocked. It's like, how could that be possible? And I understand, okay, they went 3-13, and they have a new coach and they have a new coaching staff, but just the pieces that are on this roster don't make me think that they're going to be. It's basically saying that they're going to be the worst team in the NFL next year. I just don't see that happening at all, based on what Rivera brings in, what his staff is going to be able to bring in, and the pieces on this roster. I mean, it's a lot of young talent with another year under their belt. So I definitely disagree with that, and obviously I'm sure a lot of Redskins fans disagree with it also, but it was definitely interesting to note. And I would say for the favorites of Chiefs, that's a pretty good call.
I'll give you that. It's fair. I feel like it's fair, but at the same time, it's going to be an exciting offseason. I can't wait. I mean, this is like the first offseason where you really don't know what to expect. So I mean, that creates that optimism, and I think going forward, it's only going to create hope. And for Ron Rivera, it's only positive. I mean, there's only one way but up. So I think Ron Rivera, the coaching staff, all these guys are going to kill it. The Rundown will be back Wednesday. Kyle, other than iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, where else can fans listen to us?
You can listen on YouTube if you want to actually watch us.
That's true.
You can listen.
Redskins.com.
You can listen and watch on Redskins.com or the Redskins app, and you could also listen on Google Play. And then we mentioned Apple Podcast and Spotify and all that. So wherever you've been getting your podcasts, keep listening. Try to subscribe. Nice comments, good ratings if you like what we're doing, and we'll be back soon enough.
Well, for Stevie Katz, my man Zach Selby, Kyle Stackpole, I'm Gabe Henderson. This is The Rundown.
Are uninvited pests ruining your plans? Let PMSI, the pest control partner of the Washington Redskins, handle it for you. Call today for your free inspection, and they'll work around your schedule to provide you the best solution possible to defend your home territory against pests of all kinds, including mold. Visit mypmsi.com for the game plan to control the pests on your home turf. That's mypmsi.com.
At Coke, our 67,000 U.S. employees make things that make your game days better, like fertilizer for greener turf and stronger paper products for tailgating. Viewing the game from your couch? Coke also makes the electronic components in TVs and smart devices so you can watch your Redskins victory anywhere. Coke, we make that. See it all at KOCHmakesthat.com. That's CokeMakesThat.com.
Winter is the season for adventure, and if you want a car as exciting as your lifestyle, then it has to be an all-wheel drive Honda SUV. With more features, the CR-V has standard Honda sensing, more room for friends, the Pilot has seating for 8, more comfort, the HR-V has available heated seats, and more rugged. The Passport is built for adventure with ample cargo space and hidden storage compartments. Winter adventure is calling, and Honda is ready to answer. See your local Honda dealer today.
I'm Darryl Green. I retired from football in 2004, but I'm still active in business. I'm a founding board member of Main Street Bank, a local community bank meeting the needs of businesses like yours. I'm speaking now to the most football knowledgeable, faithful, most caring folks in the world, the Redskins faithful fans. I'd like to ask you to consider banking with my bank, Main Street Bank. Trust me, you'll get high-tech products and personal service. Go to mstreetbank.com and tell them old number 28 sent you.
Main Street Bank, member FDIC.